This is the place. And you say people come from far, far, far away to find their dreams, chasing down these meteors and comets called dreams in the sky of life.
Alright, what's Gucci everybody? It's your boy SJK, the first Black Super Saiyan in the world around this planet. I got a review for you guys. We got a review to Akashic Records of the Bastard Magical Instructor.
Move, you brat!
Okay, so this anime stars Glenn Radars. He's our main character.
That's it for this period. Later, nerds.
Wait, you haven't even given us our...
He used to be part of this portion of the military, the certain type of military that specializes in a specific form of magic. Special form, a special operations. And he didn't want to live that life. He wanted to live a basic, boring ass life. He doesn't want to work. He don't want to pay rent. He don't want to do shit. He just want to laze around and do whatever the fuck he want to do. That's what my mans want to do. Basically, his motivations in here don't really get deeper until his students start to force him to, take on his teaching roles and make teachings far serious. For example, right? He's a substitute teacher in this show. He's filling in for another teacher, and trust me, that other teacher, don't worry about him or her, because they will be missing for a while. So basically, there's another character in the show called Sistine Flibel.
Sistine? How can you call yourself a teacher?
Well, it's only temporary.
Flibel. Sistine Flibel is her name. And another character named Rumia Tingel.
You definitely seem familiar. Have you and I,
Hey! What is wrong with you, man?
Tingel, whatever her name is, last name is, I don't what the fucking know. Tingel, it's pronounced something. These two characters are one of the two main, the second two, I guess you would call them supporting characters. The two supporting characters to our main character. Consider them all three the main characters, the main focus of the show. But you call them supporting or whatever. I consider them all the main characters. Glenn, Rumia, and Sistine, they're all considered the three main characters. The three characters we really focus on. So they're students in his class, and Rumia, for some reason she recognizes Glenn from her past and stuff, and she's like, oh, who is this guy? I don't know who the frick this dude is. But she can recognize him. Rumia is very kind, she's sweet, she's very open. She's very open to new things, and she's willing to give things a chance. And Sistine is very she has a dead set mission. I don't want to really spoil that. I want you guys to experience that in the show. And she has her reasons for wanting to graduate, basically finish up school, get her education, because there's a mission she wants to complete for someone that she loves. Not loves like family, that type of love. And well, Glenn is to be their teacher, and Sistine, being the kind of stiff, butthurt kind of person she is, she's not messing with Glenn's vibes. Glenn is he's supposed to be a substitute teacher. He doesn't want to teach. He doesn't do shit. He doesn't do nothing. He's lazy.
Please tell your father I'm counting on his complaint. Oh man, what a huge relief! I can't quit, but if I'm fired, it's out of my hands. I never wanted to work here anyway. I knew this would be a disaster.
Sissy, don't!
Huh?
And these two characters are going to later keep pushing him to sort of embrace his role as a teacher, do something with your life and shit. And they actually do. He's still pretty much himself, but you can see that he's willing to help more. He's willing to do this. He's willing to do that. He starts to become a teacher later down the line. Still while continuing being himself. I don't know how this man still got his job, but hey, it's a fictional world, you know, you gotta make it work somehow. For the most part, this anime is very pretty much average to me. It's like basic, but I like it though. This is more of a, because anime has a lot of humor, right? And I don't know what to really call this. I mean, I guess you can loop it in a comedy. You can loop it into a, because there's, I don't even know what to loop this in. I'll call it a comedy or not. I mean, for the majority of it, there's jokes and stuff, and there's times when it can get serious. But, well, I mean, we can call it what it is. The show's a comedy. But it's one of those animes where it's, like, really funny. And then when it gets serious, like, they get serious. But for the most part, it's going to be a very comedic, funny anime. It's not really much of, like, a parody of any sorts of any of the anime. It's not a parody or anything. It's a comedy. You're going to have running jokes. It's going to be funny for the most part. If you watch it dubbed, it's funny. I tried to watch it sub. Not really funny. So, if you watch it dubbed with the voices, then it's going to help better with you being able to laugh at what's going on. But for the most part, it's very basic.
Huh? Who the hell are you? Sorry, I can leave.
Help, you idiot!
Like, there's a villain in this, and he's basic. Like, really basic. Like, okay. I think for me to truly say the villain is that dude is for me to see a second season, to see the villain and the hero get fleshed out more. Because when you watch the intro to the anime, they show hints of what's going to come to the future of the show, and it's like the way the show ends, it's like, damn, I mean, you could have at least had like two or three more episodes. That was kind of just quick, and then you just like, you know, ooh, cliffhanger type shit. Well, not really cliffhanger, but like a very lackluster ending. It's like, you know, it didn't feel fulfilling. It felt like, oh, there's gonna be a second season, and this show came out in 2017, and it's 2020, still no second season of this. I mean, fuck, you know, we really wouldn't know. But for the most part, I wouldn't say this anime is bad. I wouldn't say it's great. I wouldn't say it's bad or it's great. This shit is really just average. Like, it's a very average show at best. And you can watch it if you want to get a good laugh. There's some hints of action in it. It's not very, the action doesn't hit as hard as you may want it to, like you would see in your most animes. But I don't think they're trying to go for that. I think they're trying to keep the action as basic as possible. And they're really riding on their comedy to keep you pulled in. Because that's what I noticed. Really keeping you pulled in with the comedy more so than the action. Because even when it's time to you get into the action, they'll find a way to slip some comedy right into the action right before it starts. There's one episode, around like episode 6 or 7, where it gets like real dark. It gets like real dark and serious. Like, you know, with one of Glenn's past friends from his days in the military. And something happens with, you know, that person. He has to deal with her. We think some people have died, and, you know, it's like, whoa, got flipped on their head, and it's like, whoa, what the freak? It's really not what I thought it was. So yeah, you're gonna run into a lot of that. Well, no, not really not. You're not gonna run into a lot of that. A couple. But a very average anime at best. I mean, it's funny. It is. If you watch it English dub. If you watch it subbed, you can watch it subbed. I recommend the dub, just so you can get the best laugh out of it you can. The sub, I don't know how, you know, you may react to it or laugh at it, but at least you'll get the more accurate dialogue with the sub. So, Akashic records of the bastard magical instructor. The shit's average. It's really average. Like, if we had to talk about average anime, this is average. But it's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad. It's just average. I mean, I seen worse. Well, this ain't even bad. I seen worse than this. That's like below the average. This is average though. This is what I call average. So it's okay to watch. It's fathomable. I think if the show had a second season, I would see myself liking it more, because there's a lot of characters in this show where there's a lot of students in this class, right? And some of them get speaking roles and stuff, but they don't get much of what else can they do. Like, the show really focuses on Glenn, Sistine, Rumia, and another character, and I don't want to spoil who that is. And like, you have a class with characters who talk, but there's like certain students who talk, and you start to recognize them by their appearance if you can't really catch their name. And it's like, you want to see them do more, you know, because they keep on letting these characters talk, and they really focus on them, focus the camera on them, and they really don't do much more than they really don't do more enough. They really don't. Like, there's one episode where this class is going to be able to work cohesive as a whole. 2 episodes actually where the class will work cohesive in a goal to work together. But for the most part, that's the most you're going to get out of the class actually doing something and being involved, you know? So you're really going to see more of Glenn, Sistine, and Rumia, you know, and it's not really much of an L because they are the only characters I really like to see. And then the other surprise character that gets added on later, don't want to spoil who that person is, but look out for it. But yeah, this is basically the review of Akashic Records and the Bastard Magical Instructor. This is funny if you watch it subbed. I tried to watch it, really couldn't laugh at it like I did compared to the dub. But I'd say watch this in the dub. I'll be honest with you, you really don't have to watch this sub. It's not like you're going to be missing out on anything. It's not like you got to, you know, missing out on anything, some specific information. Because the show really will not go nowhere after this one season. It could go somewhere, but there's no second season. So it's just like, it's done. And that's why I say the ending was very lacking to me. It's very lackluster. It's like, whoa, you just ended it like that? Like, bruh, not even fulfilling in the slightest. So that's the thing about it. It ended on a way to where you'll need a second season to keep continuing it, to see how the villain is going to, you know, what's going to happen and shit. So that's the thing about it. I would recommend you guys do check it out. It is average at best, but I do recommend you check it out if you want to get a good laugh. There's some hints of action in it, a lot of magical action, so there's going to be magic and stuff in this action. That's the most you're going to get out of the action. So don't expect a lot of boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom.
I'll finish you with the legendary super magical Iron Fist magical punch. Here goes. Magical punch!
Expect a lot of CM solid beam. Expect a lot of that shit. But this is the review. Go check out the show. Please subscribe to the channel. It's your boy, Ezra, your kid out, the first black Super Saiyan. The world around this planet goes to that peace, love, positivity, all that jazz. Don't do drugs. Deuces. Stay safe.